The year is 1517. The Mamluk Sultan Tuman Bey faced the Ottoman army under the shadow of the ancient pyramids of Giza. A fierce battle ensued, and the Ottomans emerged victorious. They seized and plundered Cairo, the capital of the Mamluks. This was the greatest military campaign that any Ottoman sultan had ever undertaken. It gave them control over two of the most populous and prosperous cities in the world, Constantinople and Cairo. But the most important prize for Selim and his successors was the capture of Mecca and Medina. This bestowed upon them the title of Caliph, the leader of all Muslims, until the early 1900s. Mehmed was only 21 years old when he captured Constantinople and put an end to the Byzantine Empire. He then declared himself as the Caesar of Rome, based on the fact that Constantinople had been the capital and the stronghold of the remaining Eastern Roman Empire. Mehmed saw the Ottoman state as a successor of the Roman Empire for the rest of his life. He officially sanctioned the practice of fratricide, the killing of one's own brother, to protect the state and avoid further divisions as previous civil wars did. Mehmed had two sons, Bayezid and Cem, who were governors of Amasya and Konya respectively. When Mehmed died, messengers were sent to both to announce the new sultan. The Grand Vizier, who favoured Cem, tried to conceal the sultan's death for a while. The janissaries, who knew this, revolted and killed the Grand Vizier and proclaimed Korkut, Bayezid's son, who was in Istanbul, as the sultan's regent and raised him to the throne. Meanwhile, the messenger sent to Cem was intercepted by Bayezid's father-in-law. Cem learned the news 4 days later, but it was too late. Bayezid arrived at Constantinople and became the new sultan. Cem suggested to split the empire between him and his brother, giving Bayezid the European side. Bayezid angrily refused the offer, declared that between rulers there is no kinship, and attacked Cem and his army. Cem was defeated and escaped with his family to the Mamluk Cairo. Cem was welcomed by the Mamluk Sultan Qayet Bey in Cairo. He received a letter from his brother there, offering him 1,000,000 ducats to give up his claim to the throne. Cem refused the offer and tried to take over Anatolia. He failed and had to retreat. He wanted to go back to Cairo, but Bayezid blocked all the roads to Egypt, so Cem ran away to Rhodes. Cem sought the protection of Pierre d'Aubusson, the Grand Master of the Knights of St. John, a Catholic order on the island. He was treated with respect. He offered to make peace between the Ottoman Empire and Christendom if he became the Sultan. But Pierre d'Aubusson thought it was unwise to fight Bayezid, so he secretly made a peace treaty with him and a separate deal on Cem's captivity. He agreed to keep Cem prisoner in exchange for 40,000 ducats a year from Bayezid. The knights took the money and betrayed Cem, who became a well-treated prisoner at Rhodes. Later, Cem was sent to the castle of Pierre d'Aubusson in France. Bayezid sent ambassadors and spies to the west to make sure his rival stayed in prison, and he even tried to kill him. Cem spent 5 years at Bourganeuf, in a tower built for him. He was treated well, but he was not free. Cem was moved to Rome on March 13th, 1489. This worried Bayezid. The Sultan promised not to attack Rhodes, Rome, or Venice, and to pay Cem's allowance of 40,000 ducats to the Pope if the Pope kept Cem in jail. In 1494, Charles VIII invaded Italy to take over the Kingdom of Naples and announced a crusade against the Turks. He forced Pope Alexander to give him Cem. Cem left Rome with the French army and died in Naples on February 1495. Bayezid had 8 sons, but only Ahmed, Korkut and Selim survived him. Selim was the governor of Trabzon, Korkut of Antalya, and Ahmed of Amasya. Selim had gained a great reputation among his soldiers for his battles with the Safavids, slave raids, and a campaign in Georgia. He defeated a Safavid army led by Shah Ismail's brother in 1505, and then defeated Shah Ismail himself in 1507 and 1510. Selim had the support of the janissaries because of his military success. But the Ottoman bureaucracy supported Ahmed for the throne. Korkut had no sons, so he had little chance of becoming the Sultan. Korkut left Antalya without his father's permission and went to Manisa. Selim's son Suleiman was moved from Bolu to Kafar in Crimea because Ahmed objected to his proximity to Istanbul. Selim asked for a district in Europe, but he only got Samandire, which was far from Istanbul. Selim decided to stay near Istanbul instead of going to his new district. His father Bayezid saw this as defiance. He fought and defeated Selim's forces in August 1511, and Selim fled to Crimea. While Bayezid was fighting Selim, he sent Ahmed to deal with the Shakulu rebellion in Anatolia. That was a pro-Shia and pro-Safavid uprising that started among the Turkmen tribes and spread to other discontented groups. Ahmed did not fight, but tried to win the soldiers to his side for the throne and left the battlefield. This upset the soldiers, and his main supporter, the Grand Vizier, died in the fight to end the rebellion. Ahmed captured Karaman unexpectedly and marched to Constantinople to use his victory. Bayezid feared that Ahmed might kill him to take the throne, so he did not let his son enter Constantinople. Selim came back from Crimea, and with the help of the janissaries, he made his father give up the throne. Bayezid left for his hometown, but he died on the 26th of May 1512 before he got there, only a month after he gave up the throne. Korkut accepted his brother's rule, but Selim did not trust him and tested his loyalty by sending him fake letters from some bureaucrats of the empire who tried to make him join a rebellion. Selim thought that Korkut was planning to revolt and had him killed in 1513. Ahmed still controlled some of Anatolia in the first months of Selim's rule. At last, Selim and Ahmed fought near Bursa. Selim's forces won. Ahmed was caught and killed soon after. One of Selim's first problems as Sultan was the growing conflict between the Ottoman and the Safavid Empire, led by Shah Ismail, who had made the Safavids powerful and had changed the Persian state religion from Sunni Islam to Shia Islam. In 1514, Selim attacked Ismail's empire to stop the spread of Shiism into Ottoman lands. Selim killed the Shia followers among the people on his way to fight Ismail, considering them as foes of the Ottoman Empire. Selim beat Ismail at the Battle of Chaldiran in 1514. Ismail's army was faster and his soldiers better ready, but the Ottomans won because they had a more modern and efficient army, artillery, black powder and muskets. Selim entered the Iranian capital of Tabriz in triumph. Next, Selim conquered the Mamluk Sultanate of Egypt, beating the Mamluk Egyptians first at the Battle of Majd-Dabik and then at the Battle of Ridania. This let Selim take over the whole Sultanate from Syria and Palestine in Sham to Hejaz and Tihama in the Arabian Peninsula, and finally Egypt itself. This allowed Selim to extend Ottoman power to the Muslim holy cities of Mecca and Medina, which were under Egyptian rule before. The last Abbasid caliph was residing in Cairo at the time of the Ottoman conquest. He was subsequently sent into exile in Istanbul. A planned campaign westward was cut short when Selim was overwhelmed by sickness and subsequently died in the 9th year of his reign, aged 49. During his short 8 years of ruling, he accomplished momentous success. Despite the length of his reign, many historians agree that Selim prepared the Ottoman Empire to reach its zenith under the reign of his son and successor, Suleiman the Magnificent. Suleiman began his reign with campaigns against the Christian powers in Central Europe and the Mediterranean. Belgrade fell to him in 1521 and the island of Rhodes in 1522. The Knights of Rhodes were given 12 days to leave the island and would be allowed to take their weapons, valuables, and religious icons. Suleiman asked only one person to be handed over. Cem Sultan's son Murad stayed in Cairo after his father's exile and later escaped to Rhodes. Murad lived in the Chateau de Fondo and showed gratitude by becoming a Roman Catholic, changing his name to Pierre. He married an Italian woman who bore him 4 children, 1 son and 3 daughters. When Suleiman the Magnificent took over Rhodes in 1522, he demanded that Murad be given to him and ordered his execution.